ESCs are going to be at each table helping you, but we're going to pass out the instructions. And what we're going to do is work on this activity. We're going to get in our groups, and we'll let you work on your activity for a little while, and then we'll present out. And hopefully you'll have a lot of good choices to take back to your districts. But what we're going to do is you're going to get a card. Everybody's going to get a card, and you can change cards if you like. If you don't want to work on that cluster to develop a sequence, then trade with someone. So you're going to try to make a sequence, and it should align to the workforce needs that you saw yesterday. Also, dual credit options and articulations, include those in your sequence, along with endorsement requirements. And then we're going to have some paper that you can tack on the walls. You can work together. Choose a card, find somebody that has the same cluster, and work with them, and work on a sequence.
Hello. Let's a little clarification on the process here. Everybody, and then there was a little bit of miscommunication on our part. Sorry about that. Everybody gets a card. Everybody gets a card. And the card is different for everybody, mostly. But then you're going to have to move. So just prepare yourselves. Next step is take your card and find someone else who has your card, 2 or 3 or 4 people together. Move, find a table, sit, and start doing coherent sequences for that cluster card that you and your new partners have. Is that clear? And the specialists are going to help you. You can do, you can do at least 2 or 3 different sequences. 2 or 3 different sequences. And you want to be able to post them, so you're going to write them on the poster boards on the walls and talk about them afterwards.
Has everybody been able to find the course crosswalk in the live binder?
You will be posting your artwork and all your wonderful ideas on the walls.
Okay, we have, can y'all hear? We have one clarification. You should be working on the new courses for next year, so your sequence should be the new courses. If you're pulling up the UNT site and using those flow charts, that's incorrect. So you should have the new courses that are in the crosswalk. All right, we're about ready to present. We're going to go around the room and go ahead and tell us about your sequences and explain which endorsement you're in. Okay, we'll start over here with the architecture and construction.
Oh, I can do that. Architecture and construction. We focused on the construction technology pathway. We listed this year's courses as they relate to next year's courses. In our coherent sequence, they'll take principles of construction, then they'll run into construction technology 1, followed by 2, and they'll eventually end up in their practicum of construction technology. It is a business and an industry endorsement. Several of us at the table talked about our partnerships. We actually have a partnership with the city of Grand Prairie where we're building a home. We have Neighbors Works in the Waco area, and then we also have a really unique articulation that we've started with the University of Texas at Arlington, business and industry endorsement.
And we will have all these posted in the live binder, so if you don't need to take pictures, you don't have to. All right, next.
We were pretty diverse from the size schools and everything we went to, so we just kind of stayed pretty generic on the business management administration. So we just started out with the principles, and since these 2 are half credits, we paired those together. And then they kind of take the BIM path, or business law, business management, or possibly a practicum and a business and industry endorsement.
All right, thank you. Any dual credit in that?
We're articulated with South Plains College, and so we articulate BIM 1, BIM 2, and then several other things.
Thank you.
Okay, we had law, public safety, corrections, and security. This is under the public services endorsement. There's a couple different ways that you could go about this, but we obviously started with principles of law. We did law enforcement 1 and law enforcement 2 in their junior year, and then a practicum law senior year. We put off to the side, they could also take forensic science as an upperclassman. Obviously, that could count as their 4th science. And then You also have a dual credit opportunity through criminal justice. So in my current school district, we offer this dual credit opportunity with Lone Star.
We're in the education and training career cluster, and our Coherent sequence, first year, students have the option of taking principles of education. Second year, human growth and development. Third year, instructional practices. Fourth year, they can do a practicum in education. Some dual credit opportunities or articulation. We had Region 7, ATC, Angelina College. I'm in Region 11, so we are Tarrant, where we have TCC, where students can attend there. And also, in addition to the practicum, we also offer, my particular school district is Keller Independent School District. We offer intern hours because we have 4 high schools that our students have the option of doing interns through those feeder patterns as well. And of course, our endorsement is public service.
All right, transportation cluster.
All right, we had transportation, distribution, and logistics, and that falls under the endorsement of business and industry. And we selected a specific pathway of logistics, planning, and management services. And the sequence of courses we selected, you start with principles of distribution and logistics for a credit. Second course is distribution and logistics for a second credit. And we were going to finish it up with practicum in distribution and logistics for 2 credits, and we could add the extended for a third. There are 2 certifications that we discovered. You can get the OSHA 10-hour career safe, and we found a logistics technology industry certification that we think is very applicable to this pathway.
Arts AV? All right.
We have the Arts AV Technology and Communications pathway. Endorsement would be the business and industry sector. A certification for, sorry, we didn't write it down. Certification would be an Adobe certification. We decided on graphic design and illustration pathway, or pathway within the, that cluster, which would start with principles of Arts AV and Communications. Second year course would be graphic design 1. Third year would be graphic design 2. And then we'd have an option for our seniors to either go into practicum in graphic design and illustration, or take a dual credit basic animation course, which is ARTV 1303.
Okay, finance.
Okay, we had the finance cluster, and with the finance cluster for 9th grade, we selected principles of business, marketing, finance. 10th grade, accounting 1. 11th grade, accounting 2. And then 12th grade, we were looking at the practicum, and then we also wanted to add in there financial analysis as well. And then endorsement is business and industry.
We had government and public service, public administration. Our Coherent sequence was principles in government and public admin, and then poli-sci 1 and 2, and then a practicum in local, state, and federal government with articulation, dual credit for poli-sci 1 and 2, and our endorsement is business and industry.
All right, human services.
We had human services. We started with principles of human services their freshman year, and then two half credit courses for their sophomores, nutrition and wellness and dollars and cents, and then child and guidance. And then we had 2 different ways they go with their practicum in human services or dual credit. We at Coahoma, we do a lot of stuff with Howard College, and they actually have a daycare on campus. And there are several classes that if they want, they can just do a practicum as the daycare, or they can actually take a class that involves also dealing with that. And so there's 2 different ways they can go about that. And then, of course, our endorsement would be with human services.
Okay, marketing.
Okay, we had the marketing. This one was tough for us because we all were coming from very different schools. So the dual credit and the articulated credit, we felt for our specific areas was a little more challenging. But we started off the marketing endorsement with principles of business, marketing, and finance, and paired advertising and social media marketing together for that second credit. Moved on to entrepreneurship and ended in practicum.
All right, STEM.
We had the unique pleasure of doing STEM, and this was not something I was familiar with, and so I was kind of following other people's leads. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus or anything, but 9th grade, intro to engineering and design. 10th grade, principles of engineering. 11th grade, computer integrated manufacturing, and then finally in 12th grade, there is a practicum with engineering and design. And then, of course, with the STEM, there's quite a bit of math and science that's required for the endorsement as well.
Hospitality, tourism.
For us, it's hospitality and tourism. What we had was principles of hospitality, culinary arts, advanced culinary arts, practicum in culinary arts. And what we looked at is that we also have the articulation with a local college. And we talked about our certifications with OSHA, Food Handlers, ProStart, and SafeServe. And it's under the endorsement of Business and Industry.
Okay, we had the health science cluster, and so we wanted to start, of course, with the principles of health science, and then the second year, medical terminology. The third year, we broke it down into the option of the health science theory class and the health science clinical. We also have anatomy and physiology that you could put into the sequence. And then as the fourth year in the coherent sequence, we had practicum in health science. The endorsement is public service, and we do have a lot of partnerships, whether it be with community colleges, because we represent about 5 different service areas, or also with partnerships such as our CNA program with our nursing homes, and then we also have partnerships with our hospitals to do clinical rotations.
Information technology.
Okay, for our information technology, we started out, there's 3 different strands that we looked at, but one of the main ones, we started out with principles of information technology. Second year, computer maintenance, but we also did the extended lab, computer maintenance lab, then networking, then computer technician for 3 credits at the end. They do have a choice to go into practicum of information technology. It's under the endorsement of Business and Industry. For all 3, of course, they could have taken another strand, which we're looking at offering for computer programming, and or currently with what we also have as additional courses in web tech and digital media. Our endorsement, as I said, Business and Industry, but we also offer certification with CompTIA A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, with the CTSO, with the Cyber Patriots, in addition to working with Alamo Academies, with the ITSA, Information Tech Security Academy, and also articulated with area two-year colleges at Alamo colleges.
So you might notice that there are a few duplicates, and that's just kind of to give you another idea, another perspective from another district. So.
Okay, so for government and public administration and the public service endorsement, we chose principles and then public management administration, national security, and foreign services. And a different option would be coupling some classes from the law enforcement cluster, and that was using federal law enforcement, poli-sci 1 and 2, and then using forensic science also.
All right, human services.
All right, in human services, working under the public service endorsement, principles of human services, child development, child guidance, or the path of principles of human services, dollars and cents, partnered with Lifetime Nutrition and Wellness, Family Community Services, and Practicum in Human Services. Our articulation would be for the first pathway, infant and toddler, and then the second one, nutritional meal planning. All, again, public services.
And with ACC?
Austin Community College, yes, sir.
Ag, food, and natural resources.
All right, this was kind of all of us together. The biggest one at the school I'm at is the metal side. So all of our students start out with principles, and they go to ag metal, and then ag structures, design, and fabrication, and the last one is the ag power systems, which is the 2-hour credit. This one was another district. They do the principles of ag first. They do the vet med, and then they do animal science, which is a dual credit class in their district, and then they do the practicum to finish that one off. And then the third one we put up here was just the floral design for their second course, then landscape design and management, and then advanced plant and soil science, and then a practicum attached to that if possible. So those are the ones we had for business and industry.
All right, now we have a manufacturing cluster.
In this manufacturing cluster, this comes to us from the Plinko School of Design. So you put your freshman in the top right here. He's going to bounce around until he gets to an endorsement. So that's the counselor just needs to insert here, and that's it. It'll be fine. We're calling this because we're trying to brainstorm right now to expand our current ATMA, the Advanced Technology Manufacturing with Alamo Colleges, into an ECHS Innovative Academy that's due November, 17th. Sorry. But we would start with principles of manufacturing, leading to 2 strands in either metal fab and machining, which is new, or follow the traditional welding 1, welding 2, Both of these will lead to a practicum in manufacturing on the business and industry side. This would be our existing ATMA dual credit program, and we try to figure out either adding it or replacing it or upgrading it. We also have our principles of applied engineering that leads to robotics 1 and 2, which is non-existent at our school right now. Ton of participation in middle school robotics and nothing at the high school, so we really need to think about doing this. Engineering, design, problem solving, you really have a 3D component, a design CAD component leading to practicums in either STEM or B&I. So this model, a student can leave with 2 endorsements, STEM, B&I, and possibly multidisciplinary, depending on the courses he's taken. These are going to be our UIL robotics, our first robotics kids and our Skills USA kids and all the CTSOs making stuff. So,
all right, Pete, thank you. One question. So you're in Seguin. Where would your students go and do internships? And manufacturing is pretty big in Seguin, isn't it?
Yeah, we're working on some couple with Caterpillar, Commercial Steel. There's 5 local, and Seguin is like booming with manufacturing in that area there too. So there's about 4 existing internships. Part of the ATMA, their junior summer, they have to work a summer internship. They're paid internship, which is good. Part of the Alamo Colleges program already.
All right, appreciate it. Well, thank you. Thank you for participating in this activity. I hope you liked it and that you learned something from it and from everyone else.